So, you play guitar, right? Let me ask you a question. Rehearsed or improv? What's better? I want to have a quick talk with you about this matter today. Yeah, so you probably feel strongly about this topic either way. If you're into improv, improv is your thing, and you're like, yeah, improv is better. If you're not into improv, then you're going to opt for rehearsed stuff. I've noticed that people tend to lean towards one side or the other. Some people like to be coming up with new stuff constantly, improving, never knowing what they're going to play next. And other people would rather stick with, playing the same notes every time. And I mean, that's really understandable, especially in a performing environment, to want to play the same notes all the time so that you don't end up in a situation where, you botch it in front of everybody. You know what I mean? Here's what I've noticed over the years. Everything is improv. Everything is improv. Everything. Yes, rehearsed stuff that you've memorized note for note, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata and all of that, everything that's written down on notes since hundreds of years ago on paper, every recording, Van Halen Eruption, note for note, all of that, it's improv. Well, Van Halen obviously is improv. Whether it's written, composed, or whether it's improv, at some point it was improv. That's why I'm saying everything is improv. Right now it might not be improv. If you're playing a song that's been written and you're playing it over and over again, it's not improv, right? Because you're just playing something that's been rehearsed, that's been memorized, that's been practiced to perfection. But even though it's been practiced to perfection, at some point, somebody had to write it. Whether you wrote it and now it's your song and you go and you play it in front of people or whatever, or just for yourself, or whether it's a famous song that someone else wrote, or whatever. During a time when it was written, it wasn't written yet, was it? So when it was being written, the creative process was going on, and I want to suggest to you that I think a very strong way to look at it is when you're writing, it's improv. Regardless. Even if you have a plan, like I'm going to do this and then that, I'm going to be in the key of C, I'm going to do a 1-4-5 progression, whatever. But the way you actually execute that, the melodies and everything that you throw on top of it are all going to be being created on the spot, which means they're improv. So what's better, improv or rehearsed? I'm not going to take a side there. I love to improv. Most of the time when I play, I improv. But honestly, the best stuff I play is probably rehearsed. Even while I'm improving, I'm playing stuff that once upon a time I improved, decided it was great, memorized it, learned how to play it note for note, mastered it, and then I have that in my bag of tricks, if you will, that I can pull out in a context of playing while I'm improving. And I might be going, and then that lick that I memorized might just come out. It might be a lick that someone else made once upon a time. Once upon a time, it was improv. Do you see where I'm going with this? So if you really love to play rehearsed stuff more because of the predictability and whatnot, then do that. If you love to improv more, then do that. This is all about playing from our heart and having fun with that. And you can do that whether it's improv or whether it's rehearsed. For these reasons, I would suggest to you that if you don't value improv too much, start to dabble more and more with improv. Learn to improv your own way. What does improv look like? Well, I made a video about this yesterday. It might be published a few days ago. But in this video, I basically showed myself tinkering with the guitar for like 10 or 15 minutes with no plan, and how I came up with some musical ideas. You might not be that quick. I've been doing this a long time. And a lot of what comes out is probably stuff that came out of me at some point. And so it repeats and it resurfaces over and over. You'll find that as you tinker and tinker, you can come up with your own stuff that's uniquely yours. How do you know if it's good? when you're tinkering with the instrument and you're messing around and just trying to find cool rhythms and trying to play different patterns you're seeing on the neck, and if it sounds good to you, then it's good. If it sounds good to you, it's good. Go with your gut. Don't make your decisions about what you're gonna play just because you think someone else is gonna like it. I'm not saying that that's not a factor, but you're the player, you're the one bringing something to the table. What you have to say is what's most important. And so you want to identify what you feel is great and save it for later. Improv it first while you're creating. When you first improv it, it might not be exactly how you want it to be. You edit that a little bit, make it exactly how you want, then memorize it note for note. Now you have something that's rehearsed that you can then perform in a rehearsed fashion. But if you value the improving process and you respect it enough, then you're gonna be messing around with the instrument, coming up, digging out cool stuff, and memorizing it for later. The more you do this, the better and better you will get at improving and creating stuff quickly that you can then memorize and rehearse. So what's better, rehearsed or improv? Sometimes I play stuff that's reversed. Reversed? What in the world? Sometimes I play stuff that's rehearsed, I should say. This is what happens when you don't rehearse. Sometimes I play stuff that's rehearsed and it makes it into my finalized song. Sometimes stuff that was totally improv on the spot makes it into my finalized song. But then if I want to perform it again later, I'm gonna have to go back and transcribe and memorize it and go through that rehearsing process to be able to play it back what I improved that time. So neither one is better than the other. They have their strengths and their weaknesses, but everything comes out of improv, and I feel like your best performance comes out of rehearsed sometimes. Sometimes the raw grit can't be really duplicated from an improv, in my opinion. Anyway, that's my thoughts. What do you think? Is improv better? Is rehearsal the way to go when you're gonna perform something? Are you too nervous to let it rip, not knowing what's gonna come out next? Do you think you're too much of a play it safe kind of person to improv on the spot? What do you think? I'd like to hear what you think about that. Anyway, just some thoughts for you guys today. This is Dan from Guitar from the Heart. Remember to play the guitar from the heart and have fun with that. Whether you improv or whether you're literally playing off of sheet music, it doesn't matter. If you play from your heart, people are gonna feel it. And that's why we do what we do. I'll see you next time.